Three terrifying Home Alone stories. Story 1. The unexpected visitor. On a chilly winter night, Emily was home alone, enjoying a quiet evening watching TV. Her parents were out for a dinner party and wouldn't be back until late. As she settled into the couch with a bowl of popcorn, she heard a faint knock at the front door. Curious, she paused the TV and went to check. Through the peephole, she saw an unfamiliar man standing on the porch. He looked disheveled, and something about him felt off. He knocked again, more insistently this time. Emily's heart raced. She knew not to open the door to strangers, so she quietly backed away, hoping he would leave. Suddenly, the knocking stopped. A few minutes later, she heard scratching noises at the back door. Panic set in as she realized he was trying to break in. Emily grabbed her phone and dialed 911, whispering her situation to the operator. The operator assured her that help was on the way. Emily hid in the closet, clutching a baseball bat, and listened as the noises grew louder. Finally, she heard sirens approaching. The police arrived just in time to catch the man trying to pry open a window. He was arrested, and Emily was safe, but she would never forget the terror of that night. Story 2. The Shadow in the Hall. Jake was excited to have the house to himself for the first time. His parents had gone on a weekend trip, and he planned to binge-watch his favorite shows and stay up late. The first night was uneventful, but on the second night, things took a creepy turn. Around midnight, Jake heard footsteps in the hallway. At first, he thought it was just the house settling, but then he heard it again. Slow, deliberate footsteps. He paused his show and listened intently. The footsteps seemed to be getting closer. Jake got up and cautiously walked to his bedroom door. He peeked out and saw a shadow moving down the hall. He quickly closed the door and locked it, his heart pounding. He texted his parents, but they assured him it was probably nothing and told him to go back to sleep. But sleep was impossible. The footsteps continued, and now he could hear faint whispers. Jake was too scared to leave his room, so he stayed up all night, clutching a flashlight. When morning came, he mustered the courage to check the house but found nothing out of place. The next night, it happened again. This time, Jake called his neighbor, Mr. Johnson, for help. Mr. Johnson came over and searched the house, finding no signs of an intruder. He stayed with Jake until his parents returned the next day. To this day, Jake can't explain the footsteps and whispers, but he's never stayed home alone again. Story 3. The Mysterious Call. Mia was home alone, studying for her exams. It was a quiet evening until the phone rang. She answered, expecting her parents, but instead, she heard heavy breathing on the other end. She hung up, thinking it was a prank call. A few minutes later, the phone rang again. This time, a deep, raspy voice whispered, "I'm watching you." Mia's blood ran cold. She hung up and immediately called her parents, but they assured her it was just someone trying to scare her. Determined to ignore the calls, Mia went back to her books. But the phone kept ringing. Each time, the voice on the other end grew more sinister, describing what she was wearing, what room she was in. It was clear the caller could see her. Terrified, Mia called the police. They instructed her to keep the caller on the line if he called again, so they could trace the call. When the phone rang once more, Mia did as she was told, engaging the caller in conversation while trying to keep her composure. Within minutes, the police traced the call and dispatched officers to her house. They found the culprit hiding in the bushes outside, watching her through the window. He was arrested, and Mia was safe. But the memory of those terrifying calls still haunts her. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories.